Live from Midland, Odessa, and Big Spring, we're Basin trusted, Basin proud. This is Local 2 News Good Day in HD.
Well, we've got some rain moving through West Texas for the second morning in a row. I'll have the latest look at that coming up.
Also, the price of progress. Ector County Commissioners revealing the potential cost of its jail expansion.
And if you live in Big Spring, you might need to boil your water before drinking it today. We'll let you know what areas are affected.
Then, we all know in an emergency, seconds count. And a 2-minute trip taking 15. What held up the Monahans Fire Department from saving this family's house? Good morning and welcome into Good Day. I'm Rebecca Jeffrey.
And I'm Lupe Sabata. Thanks for joining us as you start your Tuesday. Today is June 27th, 2017.
Now we begin this morning in Ector County, where commissioners are making headway in the jail expansion project. Monday, the price tag was revealed.
Local 2's Caleb Califano tells us what this upgrade will cost taxpayers.
The Ector County Jail is in serious need of growth.
When you get in a bind as these jails fill up, you have to kind of plug in the inmates where you can find spaces.
In Monday morning, the Ector County Commissioners Court made a new leap in the process, approving the proposed budget for the long-awaited expansion to the jail. And it's got some big numbers.
All in favor, say aye.
Brought in the $25 million of bond proceeds. And on the expenditure side, we have engineering and architecture costs, which accounts for about $1,380,000. Construction cost of a little over $23 million.
The construction cost numbers are preliminary, based on the initial designs of the expansion, and on Wednesday, county officials will be headed to the Capitol.
A group of county representatives and the architects will actually be going to Austin to meet with jail standards to start defining exactly what this facility is supposed to look like and how it fits into jail standards rules.
And while there's still much more to finalize, Ector County officials are pleased with what the expansion will bring.
I think it will, of course, avoid the expense associated with outsourcing, but it will also, and more importantly in my view, allow us to incarcerate our own inmates in Ector County and avoid the risks of transport.
Now, the expansion plans to add 140 new beds, and the Sheriff's Office plans to start construction early next year. Meanwhile, another topic of discussion at Monday's Commissioners Court meeting, where to house the inmates in the meantime. It's well known that due to overcrowding issues, Ector County uses facilities in nearby counties to house their inmates. Yesterday, the court discussed adding Terry County to that list.
We've not previously housed in their facility before, but they are proposing that they could house up to 25 of our inmates for us for a $35 per day per diem.
According to Sheriff Griffiths, the only issue with using Terry County is that they do not transport inmates to or from Ector County, but he says that they will try to utilize their facilities as much as possible.
Now, your weather on the 2s, brought to you by Window World. Simply the best for less.
Time now to send it over to meteorologist Chase Menendez. Now, Chase, we're expecting some higher temperatures, but not today. How hot will it get today, though?
Oh, man, it's not going to get too bad today. Today's going to be pretty mild, but coming up this week, it's going to get pretty toasty. We're seeing a little bit of rain, though. That should help keep us a little bit cool for at least today here, especially in places like the Marfa Plateau, the Van Horn Mountains. Out to the east, a little bit of thunderstorms moving through Dryden right now, but that's all starting to die off. You can see no longer are we seeing any of those reds and oranges that we were seeing earlier, just some green indicating some mild, moderate rainfall, nothing in the way of intensity, and no lightning strikes associated with this activity anymore as it moves south of Van Horn into Marfa. Now, out to the east, Dryden still seeing one little thunderstorm cell that's still beginning to die off, leaving us pretty high and dry as far as that's concerned. I'll have a look at those rising temperatures coming up, but first I'll turn it back to you, Rebecca.
Local 2, your local election headquarters, and 22 million Americans would be without health insurance by 2026 if the Senate GOP health care bill passes. Now, that's according to the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, whose analysis compared the coverage numbers with Obamacare. The report released Monday would affect the bill's fate in the Senate. And as of this morning, 6 GOP senators were against the bill. However, Republicans can't afford to lose more than 2 votes. Now, if passed, it would help reduce the federal budget deficit by $321 billion in the next 10 years. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court is now allowing parts of President Trump's travel ban to go into effect. Monday, the Supreme Court says it'll agree to hear the case next term, which begins in October. And until then, it said the ban could go into effect for foreign nationals who lack a credible relationship with a person or entity in the United States. Now, President Trump cheering the Supreme Court's decision to uphold parts of his travel ban. He tweeted, quote, "Today's unanimous Supreme Court decision is a clear victory for our national security. It allows the travel suspension for the 6 terror-prone countries and the refugee suspension to become largely effective."
And closer to home, it was a sanctuary city face-off at federal court Monday. Legal teams from several major local entities making their case against the Texas ban and the federal government's support. Demonstrators rallied in front of the courthouse in San Antonio to protest the way Texas will handle immigration enforcement under its new law. Local officials from across the state asked a federal judge to stop the law from taking effect until legal challenges are heard.
Really, it's nothing more than primary partisan politics, and that's what this is about. The sad thing is, for them, this is about checking off a box. For us, this is about the fear that you strike into the hearts of so many of our senior citizens, people who have possibly lived through this before.
SB 4 is scheduled to become law on September 1st. If the judge grants the injunction, the defense would likely keep fighting, sending the case to the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals.
Moving to Ward County now, blocked railroad tracks held up the Monahans Fire Department, causing the flames in a small house fire to build.
Local 2's Jessica Vallejo spoke with the family and finds out what infrastructure issues first responders are up against.
When we went outside, the flames of the fire weren't so strong, but with time, they then become larger.
A Monahan's home burning in flames, but trains parked in between the intersections blocking fire rescue from reaching Nancy Serrano's home when they were only 2 minutes away.
They took a long time to get here because the person who saw the flames initially, he called the fire rescue immediately when the fire wasn't even so advanced.
When they got to the train tracks, 3 crossings are blocked, then they're a little bit tied up. I mean, you can't jump the train and you can't force it to move, so it consequently cost them quite a bit of time.
The fire rescue department able to take out the fire after a 2-minute trip ends up taking 15 minutes. But Billy Riley, Monahan's chief of police, says the trains responsible are not the ones passing by, but the trains that make Monahans.
It's a hard deal. Monahans lives and dies with the oil field, and all what they're moving around is oil products.
Riley's saying an overpass would be ideal, but there isn't enough land along the railroad tracks. But being able to notify Union Pacific in case of emergencies may stop this from reoccurring.
But we don't have that luxury. We don't have it, and that's probably one thing that could happen.
Jessica Vallejo, Local 2 News.
Happening in Big Spring, the city issuing an isolated water boil notice after repairs to a water line created contaminations. We're told the line has already been isolated and has been disinfected and flushed. Now, if you live in the area affected, you'll need to boil your water for 2 minutes before drinking, cooking, and washing your face or hands. Here's a look at the areas where the boil notice has been issued. The city says residents are advised to follow this notice until it's lifted. We're told water samples will be tested by state officials, and if anyone has issues or questions, they can call the city's public works director. As always, we'll continue to follow the story and keep you updated. For the latest, you can visit our website. That's yourbasin.com.
And speaking of water, residents in Odessa, don't forget some of you will be without water today. Utility crews are shutting off service in order to repair 4 broken water main valves. Now we're told residents over in the 800 to 1400 blocks of North Jackson and on Hancock between 8th and 15th Streets will be without water this morning from 8 this morning to around 6 tonight. Moving to Midland County now, residents getting help from commissioners Monday, but in the form of stop signs. The Commissioners Court agreeing to place 3-way stop signs at 3 intersections along West County Road 125 between Rankin Highway and Cotton Flat. Now this comes after residents made the request in a public hearing earlier this month.
There's been an increase of traffic, and we've had some accidents on that road. So the residents got together and they asked for us to look at it, and the best solution that we had was to put 3-way stop signs all along West County Road 125.
And the change is coming fast. We're told the new signs will go up sometime this week.
And staying in Midland, the city announcing extended hours for the recycling center this week. We're told it's for those of you who have yard waste caused by the recent storms. The Citizens Collection Station on Smith Road will be open from 8 to 6 Tuesday through Saturday. They also accept cardboard, aluminum, paper, plastic, metals, and large household items. Free mulch is also available. And the Midland County Hospitals District's Police Department launching a new teddy bear program. Officers noticed that children who just witnessed a traumatic event or are a patient at MCH needed to be comforted. We're told the Midland Memorial Hospital Auxiliary donated about $4,500 to buy 500 bears.
Moving to your education news, we have a small update on the dress code decision for Pecos-Barstow-Toya ISD. According to the district's Facebook page, they say a decision on the possible dress code reform will be made at the July 18th school board meeting. Now, they're currently reviewing parent and community feedback. This potential new dress code would take effect this upcoming school year. And from dress codes to test scores, Midland ISD STAR test results showing areas of continued improvement. Here's how the numbers break down. Students in grades 3rd through 8th showed improvement in 10 out of 18 areas. The district placing in the 82nd percentile across the state. Now, Spanish test takers also showing improvement with growth in 100% of tested areas. The district very happy with these results, saying in a statement, "We are proud of the effort of our students to achieve positive results on the STAR and EOC tests, and we want to recognize the collaborative effort of our teachers to improve instruction in every classroom."
Now, your weather on the twos.
Movement and improvement.
Heyo.
I like it.
It's the name of the game there.
I wish our forecast could take note.
It's improving in some ways.
It's
getting
improving by getting higher.
Temperatures are picking up like those test scores.
We have different definitions.
We have different definitions is right, but a little bit of rain moving down to the south, out to the west. Places like the Van Horn Mountains, Marfa saw a little bit of some thunderstorms. Now winding down, Dryden saw some thunderstorms as well, also on the way out. That should be clearing out here in the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, but it was enough to keep our temperatures pretty much average down to the south. Marfa about the same as it was yesterday along with Dryden, but up to the north, Odessa, Midland picking up a good 4 degrees. Wink, Pecos picking up 6, putting a lot of us in the upper 60s this morning. Down to the south, you can see some lower 70s as well. That's pretty typical for this time of year, but our wind speeds are also pretty calm. Those are 10 miles per hour for us here in Odessa, Midland, but Hobbs, Seminole, Snyder, El Paso, all at calm. I'll have a look at that coming up in the full forecast after the break.